Here is the 27 signs that we aren't as healthy as we think. If you have any of these signs, consult doctor immediately. Number 1 is chronic neck pain. Because you have to be at work for 8 hours every day doesn't mean that you can't do so in a healthy manner. You might not even realize it, but sitting at your desk all day in a hunched posture can cause back and neck pain as well as tight muscle knots. Let your muscle massage a little every day. Number 2 is losing hair than normal. This subtle symptom is often the result of inadequate protein in the diet. If left untreated, it can further lead to everything from chronic fatigue to an impaired immune system. Number 3 is that you're getting wrinkles. As we age, our skin has a tendency to crease and lose elasticity. Wrinkles can also be a silent sign of something that is in our control, a protein deficiency. In fact, that the middle-aged women with especially wrinkly skin had significantly lower intakes of protein than women without wrinkled appearance. Number 4 is dual skin color. Are you dealing with unsightly and uncomfortable skin pigmentation? If so, you might have your cholesterol to blame. Women, certain skin growths, called xanthelasmata, can be related to abnormal cholesterol metabolism. These yellowish skin tags are especially a concern when seen around the eyes. If you think that you have xanthelasmata, see your doctor and have your lipid levels checked. Number 5 is fingernails. One of the surprising places where health problems manifest is your fingernails. Changes in your fingernails and toes can be related to diet and bad habits, like smoking. It can also be an early sign that problems are occurring with your circulation or other internal systems. Number 6 is constantly thinking of food. Food is delicious, and so it's only natural to have your meals at the top of your mind every now and again. However, if monitoring your intake seems to be the only thing you think about, this could be a silent sign that you aren't eating enough. Our culture often praises people who are intentionally trying to lose weight or be healthy, but they don't realize how often these behaviors are actually disordered eating, or even a diagnosed eating psychological. Number 7 is you are always thirsty. Craving a glass of water after an intense workout is normal. Feeling like you absolutely need one while sitting at your desk. A little bit less so. Excessive thirst can be an indication of a blood sugar imbalance. It can be an early sign of insulin regulation or even diabetes. Number 8 is your breath smells. Bad breath is not always a sign of an onion-filled lunch. Rather, it is often associated with gingivitis or gum disease. It might not seem like a big deal, but there is a correlation between poor gingival health and vascular inflammation, which can lead to heart disease. Number 9 is your cut never heals. If it feels like your wounds are taking longer than they should to heal, it could be a silent sign of a vitamin D deficiency. It is found that vitamin D deficiency negatively affects treatment outcomes for up to 1 year. Number 10 is you snore. Snoring isn't just annoying. It is also potentially not so silent sign of a serious health issue like sleep apnea. It is similar to being choked to death, only you don't even wake up to know it is happening. This causes a variety of problems, especially in terms of heart disease. Number 11 is you are getting dry skin. Your face washing routine might not be the reason for your dry skin. Sometimes skin conditions can be a huge indicator of what's going on in the gut. If you have inflammation or you are consuming allergenic foods, skin conditions like acne, dry skin, and eczema can be an indication. Number 12 is your eyes gets discolored. Even a slight yellowing of the otherwise white areas of your eyes is something to look out for. It could be a sign that there's an underlying issue involving the liver, pancreas, or gallbladder. Number 13 is erectile dysfunction. Sometimes erectile dysfunction is simply an unfortunate side effect of growing older. Other times, it means that something is wrong with your heart. When the inner lining of the blood vessels fails to function properly, blood cannot reach the penis. So this sexual impairment could be linked to heart disease. One even found that the worse a patient's cardiovascular disease, the more severe their sexual dysfunction. Number 14 is you are getting sensitive to temperature. It is the heat or cold intolerance, may be an indication of a thyroid problem. Symptoms of temperature intolerance: evaluate to check the thyroid gland and look for other potential medical problems. Number 15 is your ankles get swelled. Many people find that their ankles are uncomfortably swollen after a long flight, and that's perfectly normal. What's not normal, however, is having swollen feet and ankles all day every day. A heart that is not working well can fail to adequately circulate blood, and swollen feet and ankles can be an early sign of a failing heart, warns doctors. Number 16 is you are losing weight unexpectedly. Weight loss is only something to be celebrated when it is intentional. Otherwise, doctors warns that it can be associated with uncontrolled diabetes, heart failure, and cancer. Number 17 is you have always getting up to pee. Believe it or not, one way to tell whether you're struggling to breathe at night is by whether or not you wake up to go to the bathroom every few hours. It is found that a staggering 84% reported frequent nighttime urination, as in as many as 6 times per night. Number 18 is pain behind the eyes. One of the most commonly misunderstood symptoms of a sinus infection is eye pain, says eye doctors. This occurs because the sinuses sit in areas above, below, and next to the eyes. When pressure builds up in these areas, it can cause a dull pain that feels like it is coming from around or behind the eyes, when it is actually coming from the sinuses. Number 19 is you have shoulder pain. Sometimes a tumor in the lungs, called pleural mesothelioma, manifests as shoulder pain. A study published in Advances in Experimental Medicine and Biology, which found that 14% of people with this rare type of cancer experienced shoulder pain, often as their first symptom. Number 20 is you have indigestion. Indigestion often occurs after a heavy lunch, or even as the result of a bad bout of gas. But because indigestion is so common, people don't think of it as a sign of something serious, even though it can be. Indigestion could be an early sign of cardiac or other gastrointestinal problems. If indigestion persists, or does not respond to common over-the-counter medications, you should seek out your medical care provider. Number 21 is you are getting irregular bowel movements. When you don't have enough beneficial probiotic microorganisms in your gut, pathogenic bacteria and yeast can start to take over. They affect all kinds of processes in your gut, including nutrient absorption and vitamin production. This can mean constipation or diarrhea, and inconsistent, unhealthy bowel movements. Number 22 is you have irregular periods. Many women think period abnormalities are normal, but your cycle is actually considered an important vital sign. A heavy, irregular, or painful period can indicate anything from a thyroid condition to fibroids. It can be a hormonal shortage that could develop into osteoporosis. Number 23 is you are prone to fracture. As you get older, it's easy to chalk up frequent falls and subsequent fractures to the not-so-fun but natural aging process. However, breaking a bone every other month is not normal and could be a sign that you are malnourished. It's especially important to watch out for this ailment as you reach your senior years. Number 24 is you have wild mood swing. Though drinking coffee can be beneficial for your mind and body, too much of the stuff can cause health issues. Excess caffeine intake can increase anxiety, hostility, and psychotic symptoms. Stick to just 3 or 4 cups of coffee per day, at most, and your mood should be fine. Number 25 is you are getting frequent fungal infection. Skin complications like fungal infections are sometimes the first sign that a person has diabetes. Among diabetes patients, common fungal infections include everything from jock itch and athlete's foot to ringworm and vaginal infections. Number 26 is when you bend, you feel short of breath. You shouldn't be out of breath just from bending over to tie your shoes. If you are, it could mean that your heart is starting to give out. This phenomenon, dubbed bendopnea, can be a symptom of excess fluid retention in patients with underperforming hearts. Number 27 is you get bad bruises. Every so often we wake up with an unsightly bruise on our leg, but we can't recall bumping it or falling. In fact, this can be a symptom of everything from a blood disease to a clotting problem. Number 27 is, you get bad bruises. Every so often we wake up with an unsightly bruise on our leg, but we can't recall bumping it or falling. In fact, this can be a symptom of everything from a blood disease to a clotting problem.